I'm Caitlin, and I'm here with Bree and Geraldine.
Hi guys, happy Friday.
Good morning.
Well, thanks for your patience. We are doing this a little different today. I don't know, Zoom and Facebook didn't want to work, so we're just going to do a little recording and share with you guys. So Bree and I are with virtual health coaches, and then we invited Geraldine on, who has her practice called The Good Health Coach. So we just wanted to chat with her a little bit today and hear about her story and why she chose to be a health coach. So as we get started, do you want to share a little bit about yourself, Geraldine?
Sure. My name is Geraldine Bienvenue. I'm actually from Round Rock, Texas, which is where I am today. I'm visiting my mom and family. I live in Dallas, Texas, and married to my husband, Mitch, with our small dog, Henry. Texas girl through and through. So it's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So do you want to start off with just what made you become a health coach? Like, what was it about it that drew you to health coaching? Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
So it's a little bit of a longer story, a little drawn out, but I'll try to do the Cliff's Notes version of it. But I have a marketing degree from Texas State. It was Southwest Texas back then. And I worked in corporate America for 15 or so years. Back in 2007, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease / ulcerative colitis. And for a long time, I was able to manage it. And in 2015 or 2014, I lose track of the years, I lost my job. And in the meantime, I was also having issues with my Crohn's. So in an effort to try to discover what to do about my Crohn's, I went to doctors, and they were trying to help me with steroids, things like that. And if you know anything about steroids, you don't want to be on them for a very long time. So as I was struggling to get this under control, the doctor mentioned that I needed to get on steroids or get on a much harsher drug. And I was starting to realize, like food, what about food? It's a gut disease. It's a problem, in my system, inflammation and things like that. And I asked him how food was going to affect my disease. And he said, food has nothing to do with it. And I kind of had little red flags go up everywhere. And I thought, well, that's really strange. This is in my gut. And you're telling me food has nothing to do with it? And it was crazy to me that like a medical doctor that I had trusted up to this point was telling me this information. And I knew, like, if I change my diet, it's not going to cure my disease, but it's having the right foods I felt like were going to help it, and not cause further what's the word? Exacerbation. Thank you. So in the meantime, I had also lost my job, and I was looking for something for a career. I was kind of taking my time with it. So it all kind of happened at the same time. I went to a new doctor that I found that I trusted, based on some reviews and some other recommendations. And she asked me if I had ever heard of the Whole30. And I said, no. She goes, well, if you do the Whole30, you might lose weight, and I can put you on a drug that's less harsh, but I can also put you on a lower dosage if you lose weight. She's like, you just got to lose 10 pounds and I can put you on a lower dosage. So I did the Whole30. I made the changes. I ended up losing over several months, like 5 or 6 months, I lost 20 pounds. I had my Crohn's under control. Everything was going well. People started to notice about my change in weight, and they asked me how I did it. And I said, well, it's the Whole30. I did this thing. And people started doing it and then asking me how I did it, and for me to coach them through it. And so this is also that time when I was struggling to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, at age 39 or 40 years old. And have you ever gone to Whole Foods and they do the little 15-minute massage?
Yeah.
I asked the lady, I was like, so what's it like to be a massage therapist? Like, I'm looking for a new career. And she's like, oh, it's this, that, and the other. She goes, but you could also be a health coach. And I said, what in the heck is that? Yeah. So where did I go but to the master of all universe, Google. I start Googling health coaches. And of course, now I know there's so much information about all these different schools for health coaches. Long story short, I went to Duke Integrative Medicine, got my certification in health coaching, recently passed the national board back in February. And here I am 4 years later, still, working towards making coaching a broader, understood method of becoming a better version of yourself through your health. So long story short, that's kind of how I came to health coaching.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you in our community with VHC, because that is what we are all working on together, is, you know, getting health coaching out there and making sure people understand really how useful it is.
Yeah.
So your personal story led you to pursue health coaching, and then from going to Duke, how did you pursue like your coaching after that? Like, where has that taken you?
It's a long road for me, because I had a lot of stops and starts, or, you know, fits and starts, however they say it. I've coached several people. I've coached guys, I've coached younger women, I've coached older women. And it's a tough thing to do, because people always ask you, what do you want your niche to be? Where do you want to focus your coaching? And I have really struggled with this, because my personal life and my personal want is I want to help anybody who wants help. If you want to help yourself, I want to help you do that. And
Yeah.
I think that's a key to any good client, or any good, we don't have patients, we have clients, we have people that we help. If you want to help yourself, but you're overwhelmed by that, I want to help you. Specifically, like, as I understand, as a marketing major, you need to have your target market, right? Who's your target market? And I think where I really want to help, and it's, I think, an underserved target, is people who are struggling with Crohn's disease, colitis, ulcerative colitis, any kind of irritable bowel disease, because it's an overwhelming plethora of information that is out there. And to even dive into that, you kind of go, holy cow, it's too much. And then you give up. And that's where I
starting
think,
point sometimes.
yeah, it feels hopeless and it feels confusing. And I understand that. And I think as a health coach, I can help people navigate those waters of this disease. And I think that's really what really where I want to focus my time and energy, is to help those
You've
people.
been there and you know, like, that journey, and so that just gives you a whole nother way to connect with people as they are, you know, pursuing better health. So
Exactly. And, you know, Crohn's disease is not something that people even understand or know about, or ulcerative colitis, and people might even be suffering with it, but just thinking they have a stomach ache, because let's face it, nobody wants to talk about poop. I mean, it's an unpleasant thing, but guess what? Everybody poops, and it's part of our healthy process, you know, and it can be embarrassing. It was embarrassing to me. When I was diagnosed, I was single. I mean, talk about, you know, dating, and you start getting serious with somebody and having to tell them about this, because it's affecting your life and it's a part of who you are. And you're like, by the way, I know we've only been dating, you know, 4 or 5 months, but I have to tell you about my poop. That's embarrassing. So, you know, I think as a health coach, I want to be able to give a voice to that crowd of people that might be suffering silently.
I think that kind of is similar across a lot of different disease states, right? Where, you know, there's some sort of stigma or embarrassing component to it, and they let that hold them back and keep them from actually getting the help that they need, or, you know, knowing how it's actually just a few little things you could do and make such a world of difference. So great that you're working with that population. Yeah. So how can people reach you and find out more about you?
So I do have a website and a Facebook page and an Instagram page, of course. But my website is the Good Health Coach. I think it's goodhealthcoach.net. My website is always evolving and always shifting and things like that. But there's really some good information about in there about health coaching and how I do work with clients. Like I said before, a health coach is not going to necessarily, I didn't say this before, but I'll say it now. A health coach is not going to tell you what to do, but a health coach is going to be a guide for you to do the things you need to do to become healthier. And if you know you want to become healthier, if you know there's changes that you want to make, that's the first thing you need, is the want to do it. I'll help you with the how. Because anytime you look at all the different ways to become healthy, it's overwhelming, and most people, I think, give up. And that's the saddest part to me, is that there's ways to do it. Don't give up. Call a health coach, call me, call Bree, call Caitlin, call anybody within the VHC, because we can help you on the journey to get to your health. You just have to want to get there. So goodhealthcoach.net is where you can find me.
we'll make sure that that is in the comments. You can go ahead and post it yourself to make sure that it's there and everybody can see, exactly where to follow you. And then also, so people know, this isn't, a health coach doesn't tell you what to do, but when you really don't know, or you don't know where to start, a health coach is a great person to help get the ball rolling and provide you with some education and kind of direction without, making decisions for you, but giving you a starting point when you're just kind of lost in this sea of like this whole new health world that you don't even know which way is up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, do you eat coconut oil or don't you? Do
Right.
you do Whole30 or do you do keto? Like, there's so much information that's going to be overwhelming of why you should and why you shouldn't. But
everyone has a different opinion,
Everybody has a different opinion, and the one that matters is yours.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a critical kind of fundamental thing to understand with health coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, there's a spider on me.
I know that your practice is called The Good Health Coach. I'm curious, how did you decide on that name for your practice?
Well, it was a long process. I know some people just know their name and it's like, yes, I'm the blah, blah, blah. But good health is, I think, a good goal to have. So I want you to have good health, and I'm the coach to help get you there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think I'm a good health coach to help you to get to good health.
I love the confidence and enthusiasm. I can tell you're really passionate about what you do and that you're really excited to help other people. So if you need a health coach, call Geraldine, guys. Go to our website. You can go to our directory to connect with her. And she'll also put her website and her ways to connect with her in the comments. So,
and if you are another kind of provider, you're a nutritionist or you're a physician and you work with these kind of patients and you know that you've recommended lifestyle changes for them and nothing's happening, that's a really good opportunity to kind of partner up with a health coach and suggest to your client, maybe, hey, try out a health coach. They might be able to help you kind of pinpoint what it is about these lifestyle changes that are challenging, or kind of help you work through them, and so that they actually can become successful and sustainable changes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's a great point, Bree, because when I did find my new doctor, I shared with her I was a health coach, and she shared with me how many clients she has where she has suggested lifestyle changes for those clients, and they refuse to make them because they don't know how, or they're stuck in their ways or things like that. But she understood lifestyle and how you live your life are keys to a healthy gut, to a healthy life, no matter what it is. So, a doctor can only do so much, and a pill can only do so much. The rest of it's up to you. You're in charge of your life.
Yep.
Get the best.
Yep. Sometimes it's hard, but it's always worth it.
It is. And it doesn't always have to be miserable. It can be pleasant.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Geraldine. It was great to hear your story a little bit more and just who you work with. And every Friday we have these. Normally they're live at 11 a.m., but thanks for your patience. So yeah, next Friday we will be here, hopefully operating correctly. So yeah.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.